Once upon a time, Buddha was meditating in a dense forest. In the middle of this forest there were some trees that had been cut down, except for one tall and wise old banyan tree with branches stretching high into the sky. As Buddha rested under the shade of the banyan tree, he heard a sigh coming from the tree. Curious, Buddha asked the tree why it was sighing. The tree then told Buddha a story. Long time ago, a man ventured into the deep forest. His eyes were filled with helplessness and pleading. He approached the banyan tree and made a humble request. "Dear tree," he said, "could you please give me some branches? I need them to strengthen my axe." The tree sensed the sincerity in the man's voice and considered his request. It thought there was no harm in helping him fulfill this simple request, so it extended a slender branch towards the man. Gratefully taking the branch, the man started working. With his skilled hands, he wrapped the branch around his worn-out axe handle, reinforcing it. Satisfied with his new axe, the man began chopping down the surrounding trees without hesitation. The trees shuddered in disbelief as they felt the bite of the axe against their trunks. The wise old banyan tree, witnessing the destruction, couldn't contain its astonishment. "Why are you using the strength we gave you against us?" the tree cried out in dismay. The man paused and looked at the tree with a puzzled expression. "Don't you understand?" he replied. "An axe is meant for one purpose, to cut down trees." It was too late for the wise old tree to realize its mistake as it watched its companions fall one by one, victims of their own unwitting generosity. As the story concluded, Buddha asked, "So do you think it's because of misplaced kindness that you were harmed?" "Isn't that the truth?" the old banyan tree asked. "Since then, generation after generation, we have remembered the lessons of our ancestors, never to repeat the same mistake. No matter who comes asking for branches to make axes, we will firmly refuse." Once again, the wise voice of Buddha echoed, "Then what would you do in such a situation?" At that moment, the old banyan tree saw an illusion created by Buddha. It saw a young man carrying a worn-out axe approaching, asking for a sturdy branch to replace his worn-out axe handle. Remembering the lesson, the old banyan tree firmly refused the man's request. "Sorry, young man, I cannot fulfill your request." The young man, disappointed but determined, immediately took out a small knife and skillfully cut down a branch. Then he began to carve and shape the branch into a sturdy handle and cleverly attached it to his worn-out axe. He fixed it onto the sharp blade, creating a powerful axe. Then the young man swung his new axe without hesitation, ready to chop down the surrounding trees. Seeing this scene, the banyan tree felt heartbroken. It closed its eyes, feeling powerless and helpless. When it opened its eyes again, the previous scene had disappeared, and it only saw Buddha looking at it with a compassionate and understanding gaze. Buddha said, "You see, simply refusing won't prevent harm. Only by becoming strong, by having enough power, can you truly protect your home." The Buddha's words make the old banyan tree an epiphany. Yes, their canopies are so towering that they block out the sun, and their roots are crisscrossed, forming indestructible barriers to prevent outsiders from entering. With this power, you can protect the forest from harm and truly avoid the fate of failure.